Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Davis, I understand you were in South Georgia recently.
I was in Georgia, yes.
In South Georgia or Georgia?
Yeah, it depends on your definition of South Georgia.
Where were you?
I was out Norcross.
Norcross.
Yeah, so kind of northeast of
Okay,
Atlanta.
okay. Well, you were in Georgia.
I was in Georgia proper. Yes, yes, sir.
But you wasn't in South Georgia. Okay.
But we did announce some jobs.
Good. We appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Listen, it's my understanding that NTIA just had created some categorical exclusions for NEPA and relaxed some permitting restrictions for BEAD applicants. What led to that decision? Why did we need these categorical exclusions?
Well, I will just say from the beginning of this program, we have known that we have heard quite clearly from providers that permitting is an issue that we need to be concerned about. And if we want to have fast and good deployments, we need to make sure we're dealing with permitting issues. We've put together a whole task force to deal with that. And one of the things that we're really working on is streamlining as much as we can, including making sure we have good categorical exclusions for broadband projects.
Understood. And listen, I appreciate the streamlining, the permitting process, and I'm all in favor of that. But I'm just concerned about special treatment only for those who participate in federal programs. I just feel like it should be a level playing field. So if you'll just take mental note of that, I appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. My job has been to implement this program as quickly and as fast as we can, and so we're trying to do all we can for that. That I understand your point too.
Okay, I appreciate it. Let me ask you this: do you believe that we should implement large-scale permitting reform like the American Broadband Deployment Act, so that those who participate in BEAD and those who build networks with their own funds should have to overcome the same permitting barriers?
I don't believe the administration's taken a position on the bill that you mentioned, but we do believe that there can be a lot more done to streamline permitting for broadband projects.
And this would be the same for digital discrimination rules by asking for BEAD-built networks to be excluded. Don't you think you're proving that these rules are overly burdensome and unnecessary?
I think that's actually quite different with respect, sir. I think the notion there was that in the process of approving these projects on its face, that meant that there was a federal stamp of approval here, and there was something that was already reviewed. And so I think they're actually quite different. And the fact that we are trying to do what we can for BEAD projects, I hope this committee should expect that we're going to do all that's in our power to make sure that we're moving forward as quickly as we can with these projects.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Oftentimes I think we forget that we've got over 750,000 miles of undersea cables that are transmitting data across the globe, and these cables are a critical part of our network, and they're protecting them from our adversaries as a national security policy and priority, I should say. How are you coordinating with other agencies inside the Department of Commerce like NOAA, and when they consider actions like creating a marine sanctuary and a marine sanctuary that would severely limit the ability to maintain and create new undersea cables?
Well, I would just say, by the way, first of all, strongly agree that undersea cables are incredibly important for our national security, for our economic security, and we are deeply interested in making sure they can move forward. We consult regularly with our colleagues, particularly at NOAA, on the kind of issue that you're speaking about, emphasizing at a staff level particularly. We've discussed with them some of the issues that come up around these sanctuaries.
How can NTIA assure us and ensure that these cables are adequately spaced and maintained to reduce the potential for tampering by bad actors? And we know that there are bad actors out there who would love to do something with this.
There's a lot of work that's underway. That'd probably be easier to discuss in a different setting, a more appropriate setting. But I'd say that this is an issue of great interest and concern to us, and across the interagency, there's real effort being made to make sure we're working on those security issues.
Mr. Chairman, I would request that if that's possible, I'd love to participate in that if it need to be in SCIF or whatever.
We can arrange that.
Glad to work on that with your team.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'll yield back.
Thank you, gentlemen.